What's up, guys? This is George from Sound Mojo here, coming at you with my very first video for the channel. I want to spotlight a label called Cineploid Records from Austria. I'm a really big fan, and I'm really excited about the music they've been putting out over the past maybe 5 or so years. They're really inspired by Italian genre cinema of the 1970s and 80s. A lot of it is very much rooted in like a synthesizer or retro prog sort of way, but with a more modern aesthetic and approach. And they have 2 new releases out, the first of which is a band called Pan-Scan, and the album is called A Far Distant Corner of Nothing Special. And it's the brainchild of a man named Christian Razacek, who's been a member of a number of other Cineploid artists over the years, including Sospetto, who are also worth your time. And it was just released this past July. It's on CD, digital download, and vinyl. And this is very much indebted to sort of the German Berlin School synthesizer soundtrack of the 70s. Artists like Tangerine Dream and Klaus Schulze, who were really pushing the boundaries of what was then a very new technology, utilizing synths in a way that was unheard of at the time. And Pan-Scan does a great job at that. And this new one might be some of their best. There's five long-ish tracks, the last of which is actually 17 minutes. But it never really gets boring. The tunes are well composed, and it really succeeds in hitting you with these layers of synth that wouldn't sound out of place on a John Carpenter soundtrack for something like The Thing from Ennio Morricone. And he's really come a long way in bridging the gap from a sound that's clearly indebted to soundtracks from this time that utilize this minimalistic approach, to taking that approach and making it bigger and more expansive. There's some guitar work on here that adds a layer of depth to the synthesizers, but overall it has this droney, mesmerizing sort of sound that really is perfect for late night drives or listening to when you're feeling in a more of a contemplative mood. I think the artwork sort of follows that vibe. It's very spacey and very 70s, sort of like retro futuristic. It's a really excellent release, and I can't recommend it highly enough. Another new album from Cineploid, and it's a bit different. It's called Morlock, and it's their new album called The Outcasts. And this is a bit different. There's still the vibe of Italian soundtracks and sort of, but it's done in a more progressive rock sort of way, similar to a band called Goblin, who released a lot of soundtracks to giallo films, which are sort of like a sleazy Italian thrillers of the 1970s. So this album utilizes a more rock-based structure, with maybe even a little punk rock or new wave tossed in for good measure. There's more of a band framework, and this is actually another Cineploid house project of sorts. It is a group from a man named Andrew Prestige, who was in another Cineploid artist called Zoltan, who I believe are still active and they're still putting out good stuff. The album that comes to mind was their reimagining of the Psychomania soundtrack, a really cool British occult horror movie from the 1970s that's really trippy and far out, and they sort of did their own take on that. But Morlock is more urban, a bit more grounded. Like I said, rock-based, guitars, bass, drums. There's still the retro Moog synth going on, and there's still a definite old school vibe, but it doesn't take the approach of just trying to ape styles that came before it. It tries to do something new, and I think it succeeds. There's only 7 songs, but they never really get boring. As you can see, the artwork there's some retro synths in there, and the artwork is suitably trippy for this kind of thing. I think it would appeal to not only movie fans, but sort of out there music fans as well who want something a little different, and don't necessarily need the cinematic connection to enjoy what's going on. So I really can't say enough good things about Cineploit. They're putting out good stuff, and it's pretty much under the radar. They put out Blu-rays as well of the movies that they really enjoy, and those are also excellent packages, tons of extras, and a lot of love put into what they do. So check them out if you're so inclined. They're on Bandcamp. They're on YouTube. You can check these albums out for yourself. Thanks again for listening to me ramble about these artists, and hope to see you soon. Take care.